they talking real loud, spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Rock and get us swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In our heart and the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Rock and get us swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around us. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In our heart and the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Rock and get us swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Saturday Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into it, beloveds. All right, hello, 504 Nola, Claudette, Pearly is in the house, Tawana is here. Okay, Mel is in the house. Let's get into it. All right, everybody hit that like button. I see you, we the people, DJ Big Six. All right. April said happy Saturday. All right, I know that's right. Okay, and so April, thank you for being a member for 10 months. All right, shout out to Leon in the house. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I see you, Alice and Mel, Jasmine. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. Okay, so let me say this before I get started. This pertains to my moderators. If you do not have the link so that you can join us in the Royal Court on Telegram, make sure that you get it so that you can get added into the Royal Court so that when we have meetings or discussions, you can be involved, okay? Because moderators, some of y'all are saying things in the chat that you're not supposed to say, okay? If other people can't say in the chat, neither can you. All right, and also I don't want moderators going back and forth with subscribers. All right, that's not your job. Your job is to look for trolls and to drop links, okay? So let's not go back and forth with the subscribers just because we disagree with them. All right, I mean, you can engage, of course, but I'm just saying, let's not be saying anything nasty or rude or disrespectful, right? Because people have contrary opinions. Now, with that all being said, let's get into it. But before we do, as per usual, let's have a brief word from our sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. And don't forget that she sells beard oil as well. Okay. So with that all being said, let's get ready to get into it. Now, you all know I've been reporting on DaCara Thompson for the past couple of days. Yesterday, we found out the sad news that it was in fact her body that they had found a couple of days ago, and they have arrested the person that they believe is the suspect in her demise. Okay, Hugo Hernandez Mendez. But now, due to the probable cause affidavit being released, there is some more information. So we're going to get into it. We're also going to talk about what some people are saying on social media. Okay, some people are saying crazy things, in my opinion. Some things, even if that's what you think, you might just want to keep that to yourself. But some people have no couth, and that's just what it is. Okay, so let's first go to this news report, and then we're going to go over these court documents. Like so, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. I'm going to share the screen.
Where a 35-year-old man is now facing murder charges after 19-year-old DaCara Thompson was reported missing. Police say Hugo Rene Hernandez Mendez is now in custody. DC News Now's Randy Bass joining us live with new details and the emotional reaction here following this morning's news conference with police and county leaders. Good evening, Randy. What's the latest here?
Yes, Annalisa, good evening. Those new charges, murder charges today, coming nearly 2 weeks after 19-year-old DaCara Thompson was first reported missing. In the days and weeks that have followed, the community has really rallied around her and her family in a search for answers and an investigation that ultimately led officers to this home in Bowie. Neighbors along Cambridge Drive in Bowie shaken up Friday.
It really makes you think, oh, you don't really know who your neighbors are.
Learning they live just a few doors down from the alleged crime scene, where Prince George's County Police say 35-year-old Hugo Hernandez Mendez murdered missing 19-year-old DaCara Thompson in his bedroom. William Hernandez says he lives a few doors down and talked to the suspect just days before his arrest.
He seemed like normal. I just said him my hellos, asked him how his day was. He said it was good.
Investigators say back on August 23rd, around 3 a.m., Thompson got out of her car in Hyattsville and got into Hernandez Mendez black SUV nearby before he drove them to Bowie. It's not clear whether the two knew each other. Police say he later took her body to a grassy area along Route 50, about 7 miles away, where she was found on August 31st. The community came together to search for her in the days following her disappearance, and today, neighbors stopped by the scene.
I'm really shaken up that something would happen on my street.
Sharing their condolences and strong emotions surrounding the case.
It's very unfortunate that we have to live in a society where predators are always lurking.
Prince George's County Executive Aisha Braveboy speaking at a press conference Friday.
Because she means so much to so many. And so it is tough that we're at this point where the search is over and justice begins.
As for what more we know about the suspect at this hour, Hugo Hernandez Mendez, police told us today he was previously arrested back in April by U.S. Park Police for a DUI offense that he was later released for pending trial. We also reached out to ICE, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement officials, after hearing that he was potentially placed on an ICE detainer. We have not yet been able to confirm that, though Prince George's County Police were able to tell us that this morning. As for when we can expect to see the suspect in court, that is set for Monday at 1:15 p.m. Until then, he remains behind bars. In Bowie, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Join us for the 49th Annual Fall Mountain Heritage Arts and Crafts.
Okay, so, but that all being said, there also was some good news, because Santia Desir, if you all remember, I reported to you about 3 Black women missing from Prince George County. Okay, that was Erica Perry, who's still missing as far as I know, DaCara Thompson, who has been found deceased, unfortunately, but Santia Desir. Okay, Santia was found safe. Just to let you all know, I was looking for updates on her. And so she was found safe. Now, with that all been said, hold on. I'm going to pull up these documents in just a second. I'm trying to pull up Santia's picture So you all know which one I'm talking about. This is her right here. And like I said, we have 43 Erica Perry still missing. Okay, so she was found safe. Okay, thank God for that. Okay, so now here's what they report. Court documents shared with DC News now on Friday detail the alleged events leading up to, during, and following the murder of 19-year-old DaCara Thompson. Thompson went missing in late August and was found dead on August 31st in a grassy area off of Route 50. Days later, the Prince George Police Department announced it had arrested and charged a suspect in connection with her murder. On August the 23rd, police responded to an apartment in Lanham after receiving a missing person report. There, Daniel Thompson said his daughter, DaCara, was missing and had last been seen the day before. He said that he tried calling DaCara, but she did not answer. A short time later, however, he received a text from her saying that she was going to get gas, and at the time, she was driving a 2013 Ford Edge. On August the 24th, members of Thompson's family were able to see the most recent location of her phone, which said it was in Hyattsville. Her family went to the area and found her found her Ford parked on the side of the road. 1 week later, at around 4:50 on August 31st, the Maryland State Police, MSP, responded to reports of a disabled vehicle on the bridge over the South River in Annapolis. Troopers found a body on the riverbank embankment about 30 feet below the bridge. The woman they observed was fully naked and had visible tattoos and jewelry. MSP sent photos of the woman's body to detectives investigating DaCara Thompson's disappearance. Detectives confirmed that the tattoos matched the family members' matched, and the family members later confirmed that she was indeed the missing teenager. Investigators reviewed surveillance footage, which showed Thompson's last known movements. Now, shortly after 3 a.m. on August 23rd, she got out of her Ford and walked toward the 2000 block of University Boulevard in Hyattsville. At the time, she was wearing a light-colored jacket, black pants, and light-colored shoes. She walked into the parking lot of a nearby Family Dollar and spoke with the driver of a black GMC Yukon Denali. After speaking for a short time, Thompson got into the passenger front seat. About 45 minutes later, the two had driven to a home in the area of Cambridge Drive, according to court documents. Detectives observed the same GMC in front of the same home on Cambridge Drive on the evening of September the 3rd, according to court documents. As they were about to execute a search warrant, detectives saw a man leave the home and get into a GMC. They conducted a traffic stop in the early morning hours on September the 4th as the man started to drive down Cambridge Road. Now, he was identified as 35-year-old Hugo Rene Hernandez Mendez. Hernandez Mendez reportedly detailed the events of August the 23rd, saying he'd been at the Galaxy nightclub in Hyattsville, which is across the street from the Family Dollar where Thompson got into the GMC. He told detectives he was supposed to meet up with his ex-girlfriend but never did, according to documents. Now, after further questioning, he denied any involvement in Thompson's murder and asked for a lawyer, ending the interview. Just after 9 a.m. on September the 4th, detectives executed a search warrant at Hernandez Mendez's home, detaining multiple occupants for further investigation. One person told police they lived with their family at the home and are cousins with Hernandez Mendez and two other roommates. They reported that Hernandez Mendez has a drinking and rug problem, according to court documents. A second person said they recalled hearing Hernandez Mendez having sex with someone at around 5 a.m. on August 23rd. After waking up a few hours later, they remembered walking outside and seeing that GMC was not parked outside the house. They told detectives they thought that it was strange, since Hernandez Mendez reportedly does not work on Saturdays and the GMC is usually parked out front. Now, a third and fourth witness reportedly did not know anything about the overnight hours of August 23rd and told detectives that they live on the opposite side of the house from Hernandez Mendez. According to court documents, multiple items of evidence were recovered from the Cambridge Drive home. Detectives reportedly saw two trash bins in the driveway with bags of trash inside. Multiple identifying documents of those who lived in the home were found inside the trash bags. Okay, so court documents stated that sexual intercourse was heard coming from Hernandez Mendez's bedroom, which sounded as if someone wasn't enjoying it. Sounds like an S assault to me. Now, based on their evidence, detectives said they believe Hernandez-Mendez murdered Thompson in his bedroom on August 23rd before driving her body to the area of Maryland Route 50. He then allegedly threw her body over the bridge across the South River in Annapolis. Let me tell you all something. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. People in that house knew something wasn't right, talking about they heard somebody having relations. Let me tell you something. That man was likely in there raping her and killing her. Now, if you heard that didn't just sound like somebody having a good time or somebody doing something that they weren't really enjoying. That had to sound like somebody losing their life to me. I just feel like everybody in that house should have been arrested. I think everybody in that house should have been arrested and taken in for questioning and held until further notice. Now, I'm not saying they all had something to do with it, but at this point, how do we know whether they did or didn't? We don't. And as for the foolish people that are going around here saying that she was out, trying to how do I want to say it? Some people just saying ignorant stuff, saying she was meeting up with him to get some money for sex. You know what I'm saying? People don't know what the hell was going on. And here's the thing. I don't think she knew that man at all. Okay, for her to be meeting up with him to do something like that, she would likely have known him. But I'm thinking that she didn't know him. And then people are saying, well, why did she, just get into the vehicle? Well, here's the thing. I have questions about that too. Because did she just get into the vehicle? Because the police showed the surveillance footage of her walking away from her car, but did we actually see her get into his car? If you actually saw her get into his car, put a 1 in the chat. If you literally saw her willingly get into his car, here's the thing. How do we know that he didn't have a gun pointed at her? You walk up to somebody's car, and I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm just going through different scenarios. At the end of the day, you walk up to someone's car, maybe you think they need help or they need directions or whatever. For whatever reason, they coerce you or coax you or lure you to walking up to their vehicle. You get there, and then they can have a gun on you. Get in the car right now or blow your brains out. Get in the car or you're dead. Who knows? Maybe that's why she got in the car. Maybe that's why it looked like she got in there, of her own will. So I don't know, but for people to be going around here saying all these stupid, demeaning things, don't even know what the hell they're talking about. None of us do, because the police have released very little information. It's just crazy to me. And I'm going to go to some of the videos of what people are saying on social media. There was one person in particular, I did not want to play her video because I don't want to give her any clout, but I think I should play it just to let you all see how stupid and ignorant she is and how she sounds like she really knows exactly what she's talking about, as if she were a detective on the case herself. She isn't saying allegedly. She isn't saying this is what could have happened. She's acting as if she knows for a fact that this is absolutely beyond a shadow of a doubt what happened, which I find interesting because she definitely wasn't there. Okay? She definitely wasn't there as far as I know. Okay, so with that all been said, I'm going to share my screen so we can go over the probable cause affidavit and some of the stuff that I'm going to read in here. It was likely in that article that I just went over. Okay, likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay. So Mendez, his date of birth is 12/26/1989. Okay, who will hereafter be referred to as the defendant. Now, at this time, the defendant was detained and transported to the Criminal Investigation Division Homicide Units for further investigation. The black 2007 GMC Yukon XL Denali, bearing Maryland registration 6FM8511, was impounded by Ryan's Towing and transported to the Prince George's Evidence Unit for further processing. Now, this is good because there's no telling what kind of DNA, fiber, or whatever else they're going to find within that vehicle. Because if he killed her in his bedroom, like they suspect, and then put her in that vehicle to go and dispose of her body, there's likely all sorts of evidence in there. Okay, forensics evidence. Now, with that being said, detectives had the opportunity to interview the defendant. Detectives advised the defendant of his Miranda rights, at which time he freely and voluntarily waived his rights and elected to speak with detectives. The defendant advised detectives that on August 23rd of 2025, he was at the Galaxy nightclub. Let it be noted that detectives know that the Galaxy nightclub is located at 2301 University Boulevard, Hyattsville, Maryland. Now, this location is directly across the street from where the decedent was observed entering into the black 2007 GMC Yukon XL Denali, bearing Maryland registration 6FM8511. Furthermore, the defendant advised detectives that he was in possession of the black 2007 Yukon. Now, on August 23rd of 2025, at approximately 200 hours, the defendant advised that he was supposed to meet his ex-girlfriend, but he never did. I'm sorry, and I misread that. He basically agreed or advised detectives that he was in possession of the GMC at approximately 200 hours. Okay, so that would be 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so anyway, the defendant advised that he was supposed to meet his ex-girlfriend, but he never did. Now, when detectives questioned further for the investigation, the defendant denied any involvement and asked detectives if he could have a lawyer. At that time, the interview ended. Okay, so what he was trying to do there, in my opinion, is trying to establish his alibi. Like, oh, I was there to meet my ex-girlfriend, but I never did. I don't think he was there to meet anybody other than to be a predator and prey upon somebody. Okay, that's what I think. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, so let me continue. Okay, so anyway, on September the 4th of 2025, at approximately 5 after 9, okay, a residential search warrant was conducted at 12606 Cambridge Drive, Bowie, Prince George's County, Maryland. Now, detectives made contact with multiple other occupants of the residence whose names are known to police. All occupants of the residence were detained and transported to the Criminal Investigation Division Homicide Unit for further investigation. Detectives had the opportunity to interview the occupants of the house or the residence. Detectives spoke with witness 1, whose identity is known to police, who advised that it lives at the residence with its family, its cousin, the defendant, and 2 other roommates. Witness 1 advised that the black 2007 GMC Yukon Denali XL Denali bearing Maryland registration is registered to it, but its cousin, the defendant, is the only one who operates it. Witness 1 advised that its cousin, the defendant, has a drinking and rug problem. Okay, detectives spoke with witness 2, whose identity is known to police, whom advised that its room is right next to the defendant's room. Witness 2 advised on August 23rd of 2025, it recalled hearing the defendant having sex around 500 hours. Witness 2 advised it could hear a grunting noise, which made it believe that someone wasn't enjoying the sex. Witness 2 further stated that after a period of time, it remembered all something in the room. This part right here is so faded for whatever reason. Okay, anyway, witness 2 then states that it falls asleep. Later that same day, after waking up, witness 2 remembers walking outside of the residence on August 23rd of 2025 at approximately 1200 hours and observing the black 2007 GMC Denali, bearing Maryland registration, was not parked in front of the house. Witness 2 thought this was weird because it knows the defendant doesn't work on Saturdays and that the black 2007 GMC should have been parked out front. Detectives spoke with witness 3, whose identity is known to police, and witness 4, whose identity is known to police, who advised that they had no recollection of August 23rd in 2025, okay, and that they stay on the opposite side of the house from the defendant. Now, a search of the residence, 12606 Cambridge Drive, Bowie, Maryland, was conducted in which multiple items of evidentiary value were recovered. Detectives located a bedroom in the front side of the residence. Detectives observed identifying documentation to include a Social Security card, identification cards, and work pay stubs belonging to the defendant. Upon visual inspection of the bedroom, multiple areas were observed with what appears to have been to be suspected blood evidence. Okay, a phenylethylamine presumptive blood test was conducted on these areas where the suspected blood evidence suspected blood evidence, which yielded positive results. Suspected blood droplets were also observed on the defendant's mattress located in the bedroom. A white and pink fake French manicure style fingernail was located on the front of the bedroom. Detectives know that the decedent had white and pink fake French manicure style fingernails when she was found deceased. Detectives also noted that when the decedent was found, she was missing the white and pink fake French manicure style fingernail on her middle finger. Detectives were able to review a photo of the decedent's white and pink fake French manicure style fingernails and were able to identify that the nails in the photo are consistent with the nail recovered from the bedroom floor. Further, detectives recovered multiple pairs of women's underwear and lingerie. Now, I want you all to pay attention to this. They said they furthermore recovered multiple pairs of women's underwear and lingerie. Who knows how many times this man has done this? Who knows if he's responsible for other missing women? This may not have been his first time at the rodeo. It may have just been the first time that he got caught. Because why does he have multiple pairs of women's underwear and lingerie? Now, during the search, detectives observed 2 trash bins in the driveway of the residence. 12606 Kinbridge Drive, Bowie, Maryland. Detectives opened the trash bins and observed multiple trash bags inside of them. Detectives searched the said trash bags and observed multiple identifying documents of individuals who live in the residence. A further search revealed a white napkin with suspected blood stains on it. Throughout multiple trash bags, multiple black with a red tie, with a red tint hairs were located. Detectives know through review of video surveillance that the decedent appears to be wearing a wig in which the hair color is consistent with the hairs recovered from within the multiple trash bags shortly before she got into the black 2007 GMC Yukon XL Denali. All of these items of evidentiary value were recovered by Crime Scene Investigations Division and will be stored at the Evidence Unit for safekeeping and further processing. On September the 4th of 2025, detectives applied for and were granted a vehicle search warrant for the black 2007 GMC Yukon XL Denali bearing Maryland registration. At approximately 18:30 hours, investigators with the Crime Scene Investigations Division executed the vehicle search warrant along with detectives. A Blue Star blood test was conducted. Blue Star is a presumptive test designed to reveal fresh, dried, or cleaned blood, neat or diluted in trace or sizable amounts. This test operates by chemiluminescence. As a result of the test, a positive result was revealed for positive blood evidence on the passenger front seat. Now, in summary, detectives know through multiple surveillance camera video footage and cellular location data that the decedent entered into a black 2007 GMC Yukon XL Denali bearing Maryland registration 6FM8511. Detectives know that the decedent is the only person who drives that black Yukon Denali, bearing the Maryland registration. The black 2007 Denali then travels to the area of 12606 Kinbridge Drive, Bowie, Maryland, which coincides with the decedent's cellular device movements. The decedent is in this area on August 23rd, 2025, and 347 hours until the phone deactivates at 503 hours. On August 23rd, 2025, sexual intercourse is heard coming from the defendant's room, which sounded as if someone was not enjoying it. The discovery of blood evidence recovered from the defendant's bedroom along with hair and the recovered fingernail consistent with that of the missing fingernail on the decedent's left middle finger indicate to detectives that a physical altercation ensued within the defendant's bedroom. The discovery of the possible blood evidence recovered from the Blue Star test conducted in the black 2007 GMC Denali bearing Maryland registration indicates to detectives that the decedent was moved into the black 2007 Denali after the physical altercation. Further, the decedent was then located deceased with skull and facial fractures. Based on all the above information, detectives believe that the defendant murdered the decedent in his bedroom located at 12606 Cambridge Drive, Bowie, Maryland, on the morning of August 23rd of 2025. The defendant then drove the decedent's body to eastbound Maryland Route 50 between Maryland Route 424 and Maryland Route 97, Annapolis, Maryland, and threw the decedent's body over the short bridge above the South River in order to conceal the crime and recovery of the decedent's body. The defendant was transported to the Upper Marlboro Department of Corrections for further processing. All events occurred in Prince George's County, Maryland, with the exception to those denoted above. Okay, y'all hear this? Ugh. So that is pretty much what they have in the probable cause affidavit. So the question is, why did she get into the car with him? And like, did she know him? And I don't think she did. And I don't think that she willingly got into that car. I don't think that she willingly got into that car. I think that he had a gun on her and threatened her in some manner. I just don't believe that she actually got into that car. Because so here's for one thing. I'm going to show you all some videos. I'm going to go to some video footage of what people had to say about it on TikTok or whatever. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to find that video where they showed her walking from her car. Because there's something that we should all be paying attention to. Okay, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, let me go to first. Yeah, he does look scary. Okay, Claudette said, Queen, I do too. Yeah, I absolutely think that he threatened her for her to get in that car. I don't think she knew him, had never seen him before. I think she may have thought that he needed help, was lost or whatever, or just wanted to ask her a question. And I think he pulled a gun or something. He did something to get her into that car against her.
So Hugo didn't live in this home alone. This was not his house. He actually lived with his cousin, his cousin's husband, and their children. So because this happened in the wee hours of the morning, it's quite possible that there were other people home. Did they not hear anything? Not only that, because of this crime that he has committed, he has caused his cousin, who is a female, her husband has now been picked up by ICE because he was here illegally. Even though he was 100% cooperating with the investigation, they came back today and picked him up, leaving this mother with her children at the home by herself, and she doesn't know what's going to happen with her husband moving forward.
The investigation there. Rafa, you spoke to the accused killer's cousin and learned some insight into how this arrest all played out.
Yeah, Lorenzo, Annie, this is a really layered case. So let me walk you through it. Yesterday, investigators executed a search warrant at this home right behind me. But today, there were federal agents back here to arrest a different man. Now, the cousin of Hugo Hernandez Mendez tells me that they found blood inside her cousin's bedroom, that blood belonging to DaCara Thompson. It's in the side bedroom of this Bowie home where investigators say DaCara Thompson was killed. I never thought a family member would do something like that. We are distraught. The cousin of Hugo Hernandez Mendez agreed to speak only if her face was not shown. We will call her Maria. She says her cousin, an immigrant from Guatemala, lived with her family and other relatives, but recently she rarely saw him and his behavior changed.
It's very unfortunate that we have to live in a society where predators are always lurking.
Neighbors are still in shock.
I just felt that there was a need for me to come out and extend my condolences to the family.
Oh my goodness, it's connected.
Tracy Franklin says Maryland State Troopers visited her home as part of the investigation.
I am very glad to see that coverage is happening and awareness of a young African-American woman missing, because a lot of times that doesn't happen.
Maria says her husband was also taken by investigators for questioning yesterday, but was released. This morning, she says federal immigration agents were back at their home, this time for her husband, who is an undocumented immigrant from Mexico. They did not have an order for my husband or a warrant for me. They simply handcuffed him and took him. Maria insists her husband has nothing to do with the alleged crime. her young children standing right next to her. She says her husband was taken despite his full cooperation in the criminal investigation. She has this message for DaCara's parents.
Yo soy madre, entiendo a la madre, entiendo al padre. Yo soy
I am a
madre.
mother. I understand her mother and father. I have children. I hope God gives them strength through this difficult situation. I really lament that it was a family member of mine, my cousin. I am really sorry.
As far as I'm concerned, she commits me with that apology because you didn't know that man was a whole killer. You didn't know that he was a rapist. You didn't know he was dangerous. I think you did know. I think you did know, just like they know that he has a drug and alcohol problem. They do know that because they told the police that. And I think that whoever of the cousins says that they heard something going on in that room, they heard a whole lot more than someone not enjoying sex. They heard a murder going on and they didn't do anything about it. So they could miss me with it. They all need to be locked up. Everybody in that house should have been arrested. Everybody in that house should have been arrested as far as I'm concerned. I'm not even trying to hear it talking about she's sorry. She knew he was a whole thug. Okay, everybody in that house knew who he was and what he was. He was probably doing the same thing in Guatemala before he ever got to the United States. Okay, please pay attention.
Social media is in a frenzy after 19-year-old DaCara body was found, and the person who took her life was a 35-year-old illegal. But police say she got into his car willingly at 3 a.m. in the morning. Let's get into details. This happened in D.C. 19-year-old DaCara left her home to go get gas on a late night of August 22nd. Surveillance footage shows that she walked up to a black SUV around 3 a.m. August 23rd and got in the car with Hugo. Sadly, her body was later found August 31st in a grassy area. That's when police traced the car back to Hugo's house and then looked into his home, where they found evidence that she had passed away in his bed. Now, he is being charged, but now people are asking the question, why did she get into the car with a 35-year-old man at 3 a.m. in the morning and abandon her own vehicle? Others are saying that that is distasteful because no matter what she was doing or what her actions was, she did not deserve for this to happen. And I agree, she did not deserve for this to happen. I'm just reporting the news and what everybody is saying on the internet. Rest in peace to this young girl. What do you guys think about this whole situation?
I think sometimes people need to wait until they get further information before they just start saying stuff. Woody T said, I don't think it was the first time. This is bold of him to go back to the house. Queen is right. Lock him up. Exactly. Now, here's the thing. I definitely don't think that that was his first time doing that. And I don't think that was the first time the people in the house heard something. I think they're all guilty, okay, that they knew something was going on. And also, at the end of the day, let's not forget there were multiple pair of underwear, women underwear and lingerie in his room. Now, if other women came there, which clearly they did, why would their belongings still be there? Unless he killed them. Why would their belongings still be there? Why wouldn't they have taken their belongings with them? Because he probably killed them too. This man's probably a whole damn serial killer. This man is probably a whole serial killer for all we know. Just like that other man, Timothy Haslett. This could have been something he was doing on a regular basis. And I want you all to listen to this clown right here, because that's what she is. She's a clown. You know, some people do things just for clicks and views. They don't give a darn about the victims. They'll pretend they do, but they really don't. It's all about the clicks and the views. And I want y'all to hear what this fool said. Okay? Likes up, everyone, please like and share. This is just pathetic. I hope she never comes up missing in the middle of the night and people says the same thing about her.
Lost her life because she was selling her coochie to an illegal immigrant. At some point, the sale went wrong once she got in his car and headed to his house. And that's where things took an ugly turn and he took her life. Now, DaCara was last seen getting out of her car, walking towards a gas station, getting in his car, and later taking off to his location, and was never seen or heard from again. Her parents were all over social media looking for their 19-year-old daughter, and I'm sure they are completely devastated to just know that their daughter was out here selling that coochie and probably lost her life over the price. And I'm sure this man definitely got his last nut off before he did the unthinkable to her. DaCara had poor pussy management. She had no security and unfortunately lost her life doing this. I know the parents are just as devastated as ever to not only lose their child, but to lose their child to something like this. Now, we don't know if this was a consistent thing or if this was just a one-off thing. For all we know, she was just 19 years old and down on her luck at the time and had too much pride to ask family or friends and just use what she had to get what she wanted. Or this could be something that she consistently did. Either way, unfortunately, DaCara Thompson is no longer here with us today. But thankfully, that predator, that man, has been locked up.
Girl, shut the fuck up. Who the fuck are you to put out that narrative that that girl was selling pussy to an immigrant and that's how she died? Like, that's crazy. And even if that was the motherfucking case, who gives a fuck? Like, it don't matter. This girl lost her life. Everybody done did some stupid ass mistake once or twice. Okay? Like, bitch, I done laid up with somebody and bitch, there was money on the fucking dresser. I wasn't selling coochie. It was just money on the dresser after. But that's neither here nor there. Like, who the fuck do you think you are to say
She
some
said
shit like
that's
that? This family is grieving. That girl is 19 years old. She's a fucking baby. And that girl could have had fucking jumped out the car and ended up fucking needing help or something and was stalked by this person. When I go jogging, and doing my little workout shit, you know how many people be trying to fucking stop me and talk to me and shit like that? Like, it's a dangerous fucking world. Like, shut your fucking mouth, bitch. That could have been your daughter. Like, people are so fucking stupid on this internet.
Yes, they absolutely are. Why would she even say that? And she said it with pride too. And no alleged, no possibly, or this is my opinion. She said that like she knew for a fact, like she was there, talking about what the girl was doing and all that other stupid stuff. Okay, because that's probably what she does. Okay, please pay attention. All of the people out here painting those type of narratives, that's what they do. The men and the women. The women that are saying that's what she was doing because that's what they do that time of night. And the men saying the same thing, well, that's because they go at that time of night tricking. Okay, that's what they all do. All right, that's what that is. Otherwise, why would you think that's what the girl was doing? Furthermore, I don't think, like I said, that she got into the vehicle willingly. And let's go back and look at the footage because here's something that pretty much just says to me that she didn't get in that vehicle on her own free will. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. People are so darn stupid.
On August 22nd, surveillance video from Hyattsville, Maryland, showing her locking the SUV.
Now let's pause it right there. I hope you all can see that. This is it's showing up small, but anyway, here's her white car right here. Now she got out of her car and started walking. Her car is parked in the wrong direction. Now, her car is parked in the wrong direction, and look where it is. Okay, so by the fact that she parked her car that way, do you think that she was planning on leaving her car? Or do you think that she was planning on coming right back to it? I think she was planning on coming right back to her car. She probably was coming to see what this person wanted, thought they needed some help or directions or whatever, in my opinion, and then was planning on going and getting right back in her own darn car. That's why her belongings were in her car. If she was going to meet up with this man for sex, like these idiots are saying, why wouldn't she have taken her things out of her car, parked her car the correct way, made sure the doors and everything were locked, and then went and got in the car with him? Because that's what you do, right? She didn't do any of that, which leads me to think that she just stopped to see what he wanted because he called her. Looked like probably a nice person to her. Probably just was like, okay, he's an immigrant. Maybe he's lost. Can't speak very good English. Let me see if I can help him. That's probably what it was. So let me just give you all an example. And I'm going to tell you why I think that's exactly what it was and how he lured her to that car. And then when she got to the car, he probably had a gun or something on her to make her get in, whether she wanted to or not. And out of fear, she got in. Because there's no way in hell you're going to make me think that she was going with that man on her own volition and left her car parked the wrong way, not even secured, didn't take her things. Who does that? Nobody. This girl was abducted. She didn't get in that car with him on her own. Okay, without being coerced in some manner, as far as I'm concerned. And let me just tell you all something. This was years ago. I stopped at a gas station, and while I was inside, there was an immigrant came up to me. He was Mexican, clearly, and he came up to me, and he was asking me if I could give him a ride. He said he lived right down the street, like 2 blocks down the street. He said that I forgot what had happened, why he needed me to give him a ride, but he said something had happened and he needed me to give him a ride. Now, when I first came upon him in this gas station, he was actually asking the person behind the counter if he could use the phone to call somebody for a ride, and the person wouldn't let him use it. They were like, you can't come behind the counter, sir, and I can't put the phone out there. Okay, so then he asked me for the ride, and I didn't know him, clearly didn't trust him. And so I told him, you can at least use my phone to call somebody. So he called somebody on my phone, and then I didn't listen. I was doing whatever I was doing, and then he gave me the phone back. He said that they weren't going to be able to come and get him, and he was literally begging me if I could give him a ride, and I kind of wanted to, because he looked so desperate, but no, out of an abundance of caution, I chose not to. I said, listen, I'm sorry, I just can't do it. I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, and this is much when I was much younger. So anyway, long story short, I got into my car, and I don't know why I didn't think of this right then. Probably I was preoccupied and trying to get to where I was going. But when I got into my car and drove down the street, something said, wait a minute, call back the number that he called from your phone and see who he called. If he really called somebody to try to get them to come pick him up. And then so I called that number back, and it was a black guy answered the phone. And I said, yeah, did a Mexican guy named so-and-so, whatever his name was, just call you from this number? And he was like, yeah. He said, that's my roommate. He said, he's at the gas station stranded. He was calling me to come pick him up, but I can't because I'm at work. So I was like, oh, because he was asking me for a ride. He was like, yeah, we live down the street from, I think I was on Redan Road or something like that. But he was like, yeah, we live right down the street from there. And I was like, oh, I wish I had given him a ride, but I didn't know. So by then I was already down the street and I didn't feel like going back. So I'm just saying that could have been something like that, because I wanted to give that man a ride. My spirit was telling me, and I used to go with my spirit. My spirit was telling me, go ahead, it's okay, just give him a ride. But then I was like, honey, no. So anyway, with that all being said, Just Anticipate says, Queen, do you have mods in? Yeah, I do. Why, is somebody trolling? Somebody said Irish Bobby is a troll. Let me see what Irish Bobby's saying. Hold on. Moderators, are y'all not doing y'all's job? What's really going on here? Let me see. Yeah, he don't have anything else to do. Thank you, beloveds, for telling me about this troll. Sheila said 2 blocks he could have walked. It might have been a little more than that. It wasn't far. It was probably like a 5-minute drive. It might have been a little bit more than that. But nonetheless, I didn't give him a ride, and then I felt bad after I talked to the guy. But I'm just telling you guys that at the end of the day, that probably was something similar to what happened with DaCara. That man probably had her thinking he needed help, some type of assistance. See, let me tell you all something, because this is the thing. When people, because you all do know that I'm a serial killer expert, right? And I'm not just saying that loosely or toot my own horn, but I literally am, okay, deemed so by Dr. Eric Hickey, who's a world-renowned serial killer expert, okay? But anyway, with that all being said, here's the thing. One thing about serial killers is they're very cunning, as I'm sure you should know, and they use a myriad of ways to lure people. And one of the main things they do is to pretend they need help. And so that's why I'm thinking that's what this man did, because listen, Ted Bundy used to do it all the time. He was a nice looking man. He would put on plaster of Paris to make a cast for himself, like he'd broken his arm. And then he would get women to help him. For example, he would act as though he's trying to put his bike on top of his car, secure his bike on top of his car, a small boat or anything like that, trying to put something heavy in his trunk. And then he would see a woman and say, oh, excuse me, could you help me with this? Or if the woman sees him appearing to struggle, they would offer, because this is a nice looking man, and they probably really wanted to holler at him. And this is how he would lure them in. But what women should have asked themselves is, if this man's trying to lift something that's heavy and he's got a broken arm, why is he asking a woman for help and not a man, not another man? Okay, but I'm telling you, they do things like this to try to get help. And I think that's what he probably did. He probably saw her, okay, by herself late at night, right across the street from that club that he was leaving. And he probably went to that club just to find somebody. Because that's another thing serial killers do. They go trolling. Okay, prowling is what some of them call it, going around looking on the prey, hunting for somebody to kill. And that's probably exactly what it was all about. Okay. B-Max says, I agree, Queen. Everybody in the house should be, I agree, Queen. Everybody in the house should be investigated and arrested. This is very disturbing. RIP. Exactly. Five Rings says, hold on, why it's not let me put your comment on the screen? Okay, so Five Rings says, Queen. There it goes. Okay, you did the right thing, but not by not giving that illegal a ride. Never ever trust anyone who flees their country. They have no Five Rings. Let me tell you something, honey. Now you know you need to sit down for that. You know you did not just you have clearly been listening to Tariq Nasheed, honey. No, you did not. I said never ever trust anyone who flees their country. They have no loyalty. You, honey, this is all crazy, honey. You need to be ashamed of yourself. I'm so done with you, Five Rings. No, you didn't. Oh, I am so done. DJ Big Six said I agree with Five Rings. Woo, honey, y'all are so wrong. How do we even know that man from years ago that asked me for a ride? We don't even know if that man was illegal. There are some Mexicans who are actually here illegally. Y'all are wrong, honey. Okay, I am so done. It's the nefariousness of it all for me. But let's continue. Let's continue. So as I was saying, from this video footage, okay, and where they found her car, where she was last seen looking at how the car is situated and everything, I absolutely don't think that she was planning on not returning to her car anytime soon.
That was parked in the wrong direction on the street and walking away around 1:30 in the morning, 9 miles
to that guy's car. That's what I want to see. Because if the police are showing us this footage, where is that footage? Okay, where is that footage? That's what I would like to see. I absolutely could not believe Five Rings, and that was too funny. All right, so anyway, with that all been said, let's move right along. Like so, everyone, please like and share. In my own headspace says, I've seen enough crime shows to know not to trust no dang body. Okay, you better not. You better not, honey. Okay.
About the murder of a 19-year-old whose body was dumped over a bridge near Annapolis. A suspect we know in custody tonight, and authorities say he's in the country illegally. Investigator Mike Halgren live in Anne Arundel County with what charging documents reveal about this man and the case. Mike, good evening.
Good evening, Rick. 7 pages of detailed charging documents. This suspect was from Guatemala. According to court records, he worked for a Baltimore-based landscaping company. Police used surveillance video and cell phone tracking to build their case. This suspect is now being held without bail. And a warning, some of the details you're about to hear are disturbing.
This is a good young woman who wanted to do good for her community.
You seen DaCara?
A heartbreaking end to the search for 19-year-old DaCara Thompson. Her family desperately looked for answers for weeks.
I want my baby back. I just simply want my daughter back.
Police found Thompson's body on Route 50 near Interstate 97 in the Annapolis area. According to charging documents WJZ Investigates obtained, the suspect, 35-year-old Hugo Hernandez Mendez, threw her body off a highway bridge into the South River. She had skull and facial fractures. Her family identified her through tattoos.
At this time, there are no additional suspects. However, this investigation is ongoing.
Thompson, who lived with her dad, disappeared after going out to get gas. She sent him this text.
I should be back soon. I love you too. Good night.
The 19-year-old is seen on surveillance video leaving her SUV behind in Hyattsville. According to charging documents, she approached the suspect's GMC Yukon and after approximately a minute of conversing, walks over to the passenger side of the vehicle and gets into the passenger front seat. Police say they drove to his house in Bowie and believe he killed sex and then a grunting noise, which made it believe that someone wasn't enjoying the sex. After executing a search warrant, police found what they believed to be the victim's blood and missing fingernail, along with hair and other evidence in the bedroom and in the trash, along with multiple pairs of women's underwear and lingerie. Hernandez-Mendez agreed to an interview, telling detectives he went to a nightclub to meet his ex-girlfriend, but never did. When detectives questioned further, the defendant denied any involvement. Prince George's officials say Hernandez-Mendez was in the United States illegally. U.S. Park Police arrested him for a DUI 5 months ago, but let him go.
The U.S. Government has made status of individuals relevant. This was someone who was in their custody, and they made the decision to release him. So I think the questions should be asked of the Justice Department.
And ICE has now issued a detainer for the suspect. Now, the victim worked for a nonprofit that was one of Governor Moore's initiatives, and the governor tonight is calling her a bright light, and he is promising accountability for anyone responsible for her murder. We're live in your corner in Anne Arundel County.
Now, let me tell you all something, because we all know that when a Black woman comes up missing, there's very little to no media coverage. But there was a lot of media coverage on this, and there was a quick resolution. They quickly found her body. They quickly arrested a suspect and all of that. They moved quickly. I wish this would happen all the time. Now, why do you all think this happened so quickly and got so much media coverage this time? Why do you all think that is? Is it because, the person who did it was an undocumented migrant, perhaps? And Trump's been going in on them. And also, this happened in Maryland. And didn't Trump talk about the crime in Baltimore and how he's going to send in the troops there? Okay, is that why the Republicans are all talking about this story and it's gotten so much media coverage? I just have questions. I think that has a lot to do with it. Okay, I mean, I'm glad that it got the coverage and that they have solved it and everything or whatever, and are still investigating it. But I think that had a lot to do with it. Also, because this young woman was working for a nonprofit that the governor had something to do with it. I'm sure that had something to do with it as well. Okay, so with that all being said, the governor actually wrote a letter. I'm gonna share it on the screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, let me see if I can read this small print, honey. Everybody hit that like button. Thank you. Okay, it says, Governor Westmore released the following statement saying, our entire state mourns the horrible loss of DaCara Thompson, who was taken from us by an act of senseless violence. Dawn and I join all Marylanders in praying for DaCara and her family in the wake of this tragedy. We are grateful for the dedicated men and women of law enforcement, including Maryland State Police and the Prince George's County Police Department, who have collaborated closely throughout this investigation. I have been and will continue to be in constant contact with our public safety partners as they carry out their work to ensure that justice is served. DaCara raised her hand right out of high school to join our most recent cohort of Maryland Service Year Option members, patriotic Marylanders committed to public service. She yearns to be a part of our mission to solve big problems with bold solutions through her passion for the arts. She was a bright light in our state. We will use every tool at our disposal to ensure that those responsible for this crime are held accountable and honor DaCara's legacy of service through our unwavering commitment to the safety and well-being of all Marylanders. Okay? So Y'all heard that, right? This was a nice young lady, was doing good, positive things out there, working for a nonprofit at the age of 19. Reminds me of my grandmother. When my grandmother used to say, when you're dead and gone and you leave this place to return no more, may the works that you've done speak for you. Okay, may the works that you've done speak for you. And the nice and kind things that people are saying about this young lady, those who knew her, speak volumes. And the fact that they were able to investigate her case, and they're still investigating and get to some resolutions for the family quickly, all has a lot to do with the person that she was. I do believe, because we all know that, honey, most of the time they don't think Black lives matter. They think that we're all pimps, hoes, hustlers, and drug dealers and thugs. Okay, that's how it comes off. So I'm glad that they had so much, used so many resources to help get to a resolution for her. With that all being said, we're going to talk about Trump in just a moment. But before we do, I just want to share some footage of DaCara's family, and then some last videos of her before she
White
passed.
new tonight, a Prince George's County family desperate for answers after their 19-year-old daughter's disappearance.
She has been missing for 6 days now. Our Shamari Stone spoke to her parents and has video of when she was last seen. Show?
Sharon and Angie, Prince George's County Police, they are continuing to investigating this case. And right now it's a mystery. The unanswered question is, where is she? DaCara Thompson. She is 19 years old, and she could be anywhere, her parents say, in the DMV area or out of the area. And they fear that something bad could have happened, and they want your help finding their teenage daughter. Take a look. Her parents say this surveillance video shows 19-year-old DaCara Thompson parking, walking away on the sidewalk, and then locking her 2013 white Ford Edge SUV on the 1800 block of Jasmine Terrace near Riggs Road in Hyattsville, Maryland, around 1:30 a.m. Saturday morning. Her father tells me the last time he saw DaCara was Friday night around 10 o'clock when she said she'll be back and left his house in Lanham, Maryland. Her mother was able to track her iPhone and found the SUV where she parked it on the surveillance video in Hyattsville, around 9 miles from her house. Her parents told us her purse was in the SUV, containing $60 in cash, her driver's license, house keys, and credit cards. Tonight, they fear the worst and need your help.
So I called her. She didn't answer.
We found a car abandoned, and we found her belongings in the car. So I don't know. The only thing she has with her was her phone and the location where we found her car.
Your heart certainly goes out to them. Now, DaCara Thompson, well, her parents want your help finding her. If you have any information, call Prince George's County Police. Keep in mind, she has been missing for 6 days, and they desperately want your help finding her. I'm Shamari Stone. Back to you.
I'm so broken. I'm so broken.
Now, with that all being said, let's go back over just the information they gave in that report. Now, we clearly saw her walking from her vehicle. We heard them say that she locked. We heard her parents say that inside the vehicle was her purse and her belongings, $60 in cash, that the only thing she had with her was the phone. Isn't that what they said, that the only thing that she would have had with her was the phone? But I thought the mother said she traced the phone to the car. I thought she said she traced the phone to the car, but she said DaCara had the phone, supposedly. So she probably had the phone in her hand when she walked to the car. But here's the thing. You really think she would have left her purse in that car if she was going somewhere with that guy and didn't intend to get back in her car? And if she was meeting up with him, why wouldn't she have just gone and immediately got in the car with him? If she was supposed to meet him there and they're supposed to hook up, why wouldn't she have just gotten in the car with him? She went to his side, to the driver's side window, spoke to him for about a minute, and then got inside. Yeah, he probably was making threats. That's just my opinion. I don't know. But at the end of the day, definitely something fishy about the fact that her things were still in the car. I don't think that she would have just left her stuff there and just gone on with him on her own volition. I don't think so. I think it was something more than that. But with that all being said, hold on. Let's go to this other video. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. And those people in the house, like I said, it's just something about them that doesn't sit right with me. Something about that doesn't sit right with me. And I actually think that they have definitely done this before, or that he's done this before. And I think they know about it. I think they've seen different women come and go. Okay? That's what I think. Yeah, that's right. None of it sounds right. Trisha, I agree.
I don't accept the apology of Hugo Hernandez's family, the man accused of murdering DaCara Thompson, the 19-year-old girl who was missing since August 22nd. I don't accept their apology because they brought their crazy ass cousin here from Guatemala. They knew that man was crazy, and they still helped him come to this country illegally, probably smuggled his ass in, then gave him room and shelter, gave him a place to stay. As soon as his crazy ass got here with that big ass war wound on the side of his face, he probably was in the cartel. He probably was in some crazy shit back in Guatemala. They brought his crazy ass here knowing that he would be a threat. Then he got a DWI in April, just proving that he's a threat. Then he murders a 19-year-old girl, rest in peace, DaCara Thompson. And y'all gonna sit here on the news and apologize on your cousin's behalf, and then you have the audacity to incriminate yourself. I hope the prosecutors in Maryland are looking at this case. These people in this house where DaCara Thompson was killed are aiding and abetting and bringing people into this country illegally. Everybody in the house should be investigated. She said that she heard loud noises at like 5 o'clock in the morning. She believed that Hugo had someone in his room and they were having sex. But she also mentioned that she heard loud grunting and someone sounded like they were in distress and not having a good time. Should she have knocked on that damn door to see if everything was okay? Yes, she should have, because she knows that the cousin that she brought here with that big war wound across his face was in the damn cartel, wanted by the cartel, or in some kind of gang or very violent lifestyle back in this country. They know that. They know who they're bringing here, and they all should be investigated. Everybody in that damn house. No, I do not accept your apology on behalf of the entire Black community. I do not accept your apology at all. And I hope your whole damn household gets investigated, because how many other people are you smuggling into this country who are killers and a threat to our communities?
Okay, I have to absolutely agree, honey. She heard murder going on. Okay, and she knew who that man was. At the end of the day, they're not fooling me either. I don't believe it. I think they all should have been arrested. Okay, and it's not too late. Lock them up. Now, with that all being said, and they said that the woman's husband has been taken into custody by ICE. Well, he should be if he's here illegally. They said something about he had a visa and he overstayed his visa or whatever, and he didn't have anything to do with the crime. Well, wasn't supposed to be here in the first place, so there's that. Okay, so I just feel like it's a whole lot of unanswered questions. Hopefully, we'll get some more answers as the investigation continues. But it's just a very sad set of events. Well, that being said, rest in peace to DaCara. I'm sorry her family had to get such bad news. And I hope this man gets everything that's coming to him and anybody else that was involved as well. And all these people going around here telling these stupid stories and making up scenarios that they can't even justify and just acting as though they know what really happened, even though they don't. And then also, Woody T said she was up to something else, like getting Mary Jane or something at 10 p.m. Why did she have to be up to something? She could have just gone out to get gas. Some people go out the night before to get gas so they don't have to stop the next morning on their way to work or for whatever reason. Now, here's the thing. I don't think she was out buying anything illegal either, because some people have also said that, and I don't believe so. Because since when do Black people go and buy anything from Mexicans? We have enough rug dealers in our own communities. Why would we, as Black folk, be going to buy Mary Jane or anything else from somebody that's Mexican? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. If somebody smokes weed on a regular basis, I'm sure they have a plug. That's all I'm saying. I'm sure they have a plug. They know of a dispensary. They know of a CBD shop. They know of something. They're not going out randomly 3 o'clock in the morning, seeing some strange Mexican man and said, hey, got any weed? That's what they're not doing, beloved. I just don't agree with that. I think, like I said, she was out for whatever reason she was out. She said she went out to get gas and probably wanted to hang out a little more. Who knows? But the bottom line is, I think that man saw her, lured her over to that car, and then at gunpoint or however he threatened her, made her get into that vehicle. That's just what I think. I don't think she had any intentions of leaving the vicinity of where her vehicle was. But, I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Okay, so anyway, prayers and condolences to this poor, beautiful young lady. I'm so sad that she lost her life.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, what's your biggest pet peeve? Mean people. I don't like mean people either. What's your favorite artist?
60 seconds with the car.
Alright, what's your hometown? Where you from? Maryland. Alright, where's your birthday? August 8th. Alright, what's your favorite color? Pink. Okay, what's your dream occupation? Ooh, I like that. Okay, what's your biggest pet peeve? Mean people. I don't like mean people either. What's your favorite artist?
60 seconds with the car.
Okay, so very sad. Michelle says, I graduated from a high school in PG County. I also know Baltimore. I graduated from a college in Baltimore. PG County is much different. Baltimore, there wouldn't have been this much coverage. I absolutely agree, beloved. Absolutely agree. Okay, so again, prayers and condolences to her family, friends, and loved ones. Okay, now let's talk about y'all's president. Let's talk about y'all's president, honey, because Trump has lost his mind. Hold on. Let me share this post real quick. Okay. Trump's out here making threats, family. Oh, Trump is crazy. So let's get into it. Trump is out here threatening Chicago. Trump threatens thugs in violence-ridden Chicago with Chipocalypse Now. With a Chipocalypse Now post. Y'all heard this? Do y'all hear this? Nene said, not my president. Oh, honey, not mine either. But listen to what this fool is talking about now. And I know he's not trying to quote Tupac, talking about Chipocalypse or Shypocalypse. That's what it should be. Shypocalypse. CHI. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. Trump is a fool. President Trump put thugs in crime-ridden Chicago on notice Saturday, promising to send in the newly renamed Department of War in a threatening Truth Social post. For those of you who missed the broadcast on yesterday, I explained to everyone how this man is changing the name from the Department of Defense to the Department of War and changing Pete Hegseth's title from Secretary of Defense to Secretary of War. Saying Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War. That's what he said. Did he say that in Ebonics? Yeah, he did. Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War. He didn't say Chicago's. Okay, Trump, sit down somewhere, referencing his Friday executive order renaming the Department of Defense to its original name. Now, the post was accompanied by an AI picture of Trump seated with fire and helicopters with the Chicago skyline in the background, dressed as the character Robert Duvall played in the movie Apocalypse Now. Y'all hear this? Imuna said Trump's brain has left the building. Got that right. Mel said this president and his cabin, this cabin is a disgrace to the human race. I don't know about to the human race, but definitely to the United States. Okay? No doubt about it. Says, I love the smell of deportations in the morning. That's what the next message read. Trump is a fool. Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War. Look at this cloud. I got to show y'all this. Trump. Listen. Let me tell y'all something. Trump is a whole entire fool. Now, one thing I can say is that Trump is the most dangerous, most nefarious, but at the same time, the single most entertaining president that we've ever had. Wouldn't y'all say that? Wouldn't y'all say that with the smart comments, the pettiness, the foolishness, just all the crazy stuff he does, honey? Ugh. I mean, he's literally turned this country into a whole reality show, as far as I'm concerned. Look at this picture, y'all. Look at him. That's him right there. Look at him. Ha! That fool sitting up there with those glasses on, and then talk about Shypocalypse Now. And beyond through. But let's continue. Because this is Trump's United States, honey. I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut. Trump has previously warned Chicago about his desire to deploy National Guard troops to the Windy City to fight crime and illegal immigration, and indicated that he would absolutely be sent in despite backlash from Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. He said, we're going in. That's what he told reporters in the Oval Office meeting Tuesday. I didn't say when. The White House has refused to say when the troops will be deployed, but reports have circulated that they may be sent in the coming days. The President of the United States is threatening to go to war with an American city. That's what he wrote on X. This is not a joke. This is not normal. Donald Trump isn't a strong man. He's a scared man. Illinois won't be intimidated by a wannabe dictator. Okay, that's what Pritzker said. When he responded to Trump, called him a scared man. Now, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson also weighed in, saying the president's threats are beneath the honor of our nation. But the reality is that he wants to occupy our city and break our Constitution. Now, we must defend our democracy from this authoritarianism by protecting each other and protecting Chicago from Donald Trump. That's what Johnson also wrote on X. The president had first said he wanted to wait for Pritzker to voluntarily invite the troops, but raged in the Oval Office remarks that his patience was wearing thin. He says, if the governor of Illinois would call me up, I'd love to do it. I'd love to. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have to do it. We have the right to do it. Okay, then he slammed Pritzker as weak and pathetic and claimed the president was attempting to manufacture a crisis. That's what Pritzker said. Okay, it's saying 6 people were killed and 24 people were shot in Chicago last week. Okay. Trump was talking about how Pritzker is just weak and pathetic and said that he needs help. 6 people were killed and 24 shot in Chicago just last weekend. The weak and pathetic governor of Illinois just said that he doesn't need help in preventing crime. Of course he needs help. He needs our help. He needs my help, and he needs the troops' help. He definitely needs help. Pritzker is a fool, and it's absolutely pathetic. I want y'all to pay attention. Trump thinks that everybody needs him, but nobody does. Nobody needs or wants you, Trump. Face it. The following Labor Day weekend, 7 people were killed and 54 were shot. Still, Pritzker has protested Trump every step of the way. His conspiracy theory is that the president wants to engage with Chicago because of the elections. Why are they saying it's a conspiracy theory? That is what Trump wants to do. Okay? He has other aims other than fighting crime, Pritzker confidently said on Sunday during an interview on CBS's Face the Nation. Didn't I tell y'all that? Trump doesn't give a damn about crime in our communities. When has he ever? He doesn't. Okay, he doesn't even care anything about homeless people. Okay, he'll have homeless people locked up, but you care about crime? No, you don't. I told you all, whatever Trump is doing that seems like it might be something good to it, there's something in it for him. He has ulterior motives, okay? He's not doing anything for anyone else other than himself. Okay, the other aims that are that he'd like to stop the elections in 2026 or frankly take control of those elections. Okay, this is what Pritzker says, saying that he'll claim that there's some problem with an election and then he's got troops on the ground that can take control. This is very good information. I absolutely believe it. Now, Johnson ordered local police to not cooperate with federal troops and guardsmen if Trump were to deploy them. Honey, you think they're going to listen to Johnson? Johnson's black. They're going to listen to Trump. I can guarantee you that. We know it's a whole lot of racist police in Chicago. And here's the thing. When they're talking about all those people that were shot over the weekend, how do we know who shot them? See, they always want to come out and tell us it was gang related, but they never have any proof to verify it. At the end of the day, it's been long said for years now that people in Chicago actually say that sometimes people who don't look like them are going around in derrick suits, and they're the ones doing those shootouts in some cases, drive-bys and all that. If you remember a few years ago, there was a shooting on the weekend in Chicago. There were shootings where about 70 plus people were shot. So many, in fact, they had to take them to multiple hospitals. Do you all remember that? And people were saying that it was the police. Now, I don't know if it was or not, but they have been saying in Chicago for quite some time, at least 5 or 6 years, that they put on these derrick suits and they go out there and do these things and want everybody to think it's gang related. Gangs are not mass shooters. That's what I do know. Okay, that's what I do know. But let me continue. So anyway, he says, we have received credible reports that we have days, not weeks, before our city sees some type of militarized activity by the federal government. It's unclear at the time that what that will look like exactly. This is what the governor said. Okay, he ordered city residents to stand up against tyranny. Now, he needs to be careful with how he's wording things because you know how Trump is. Any little thing you say that he doesn't like, he'll try to say that it was a threat against him. Remember how he did James Comey, okay, for saying 8647. He wrote that in Seashells on the Beach. Now, the president has pointed to several more cities that he wants to clean up with the mobilization of guardsmen and federal law enforcement, including New York City and New Orleans. But he's especially been hot on Chicago, the third most populous city in the U.S., that he's deemed the murder capital of the world. I don't think Chicago's the murder capital of the world, maybe of the United States, but not the world. Chicago had 573 murders in 2024, coming in higher than the 377 in New York and 268 in Los Angeles. Chicago's murder rate came in at 21.7 killings per 100,000 people, while New York was at a mere 4.7 per 100,000 people. Now, Trump already sent National Guard troops to Washington, D.C. in August to combat crime. The troops have not been arresting individuals and have been only aided in security. But federal law enforcement via the FBI and additional local police have arrested nearly 2,000 individuals since the August 7th directive. Now, the deployment of troops to Chicago would be more complicated than to D.C. The nation's Capitol Guardsmen are controlled by the president, whereas troops from the individual states are controlled by their governor, meaning if Trump acted on Chicago, he could run into legal hurdles. So Trump had deployed 4,000 members of the National Guard to Los Angeles during anti-ICE protests in June, overruling protests from California Governor Newsom, who subsequently filed a lawsuit alleging illegal deployment of troops. And then they say a federal judge sided with Newsom in a ruling Tuesday, finding that Trump's administration violated the 19th century Posse Comitatus Act, which bars the military from enforcing domestic laws. The White House and Department of Homeland Security didn't respond to inquiries, about that. I bet they didn't. They had nothing to say. They had nothing to say. Swift said he's only targeting Democratic cities. Right. That's what it looks like. That's exactly what it's looking like. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Georgia sending troops. Now, Georgia's getting in on the action. Like, what's going on here? Georgia sends troops to D.C., and signed that Trump's policing push will continue. Isn't that something? Okay, so let's talk about it. Like, everyone, please like and share. So, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp announced Friday that he's sending 316 members of the state's National Guard to Washington, D.C. later this month, and in the latest indication that President Donald Trump's law enforcement operation in the nation's capital will drag on. Now, the Republican Kemp said that he will mobilize the roughly 300 troops in mid-September to take part in Trump's D.C. operation to relieve soldiers from elsewhere who deployed earlier. He says Georgia is proud to stand with the Trump administration in its mission to ensure the security and beauty of our nation's capital. Now, here go Governor Kemp's silly self. So what does this mean? Well, I don't know what y'all think it means, but it means to me that if Trump decides he wants to come to Georgia, Kemp's going to let him. This fool sending troops to help him. Do y'all hear this? Do y'all hear this? This is not a surprise to me because Governor Kemp, I don't like him anyway, never did. But anyway, here's the thing. So, goes on to say that they're proud to stand with Trump and his nefariousness. Trump initially called up 800 members of the District of Columbia National Guard to assist federal law enforcement in his bid to crack down on crime, as well as homelessness and illegal immigration. Since then, 7 other Republican-led states have sent troops: Louisiana, Mississippi, Ohio, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, and West Virginia. So all these Republican-led states, honey, they're sending people to help Trump, honey. Please pay attention. Kemp said Georgia's soldiers may be armed and will support law enforcement. Kemp said he already sent 16 soldiers this week to Washington in support roles that don't involve policing. Trump last month took over the district's local police department and deployed the National Guard in what he said was meant to fight crime. Earlier this week, members of the D.C. National Guard had their orders extended through December, another sign that their role will not wind down soon. The District of Columbia, a hot mess, on Thursday challenged President Donald Trump's use of the National Guard in Washington, asking a federal court to intervene even as he plans to send troops to other cities in the name of driving down crime. Brian Schwab, the district's selected attorney general, said in a lawsuit that the deployment, which now involves more than 1,000 troops, is an illegal use of military for domestic law enforcement. No American jurisdiction should be involuntarily subjected to military occupation. Okay, this is what Schwab wrote. The White House said deploying the Guard to protect federal assets and assist law enforcement is within Trump's authority as the president. Kemp announced last month that he would mobilize 75 Georgia National Guard soldiers and airmen to provide administrative and logistical support to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement at locations in Georgia, although those soldiers won't be conducting law enforcement or making any arrests. Georgia is one of 11 states where the Guard will be helping ICE. Now, some Democratic state lawmakers attacked the use of the National Guard as illegal and unconstitutional in a Friday news press conference about the Georgia Capitol in Atlanta. They say the threat before us is not just for foreign shores or from foreign shores, but from within. A reckless deployment of the National Guard against fellow American citizens. This is what State Representative Eric Bell, a Jonesboro Democrat and former U.S. Navy officer, said. He said, make no mistake, this is not about public safety. It's the erosion of American freedom and sovereignty. And that's what I'm trying to say. So for some of y'all who were in here yesterday, some of y'all that love Trump, and that's okay if you love Trump, because I don't. But if y'all were in here loving on Trump and y'all sitting up here trying to tell me that this is a good thing that Trump's doing, y'all need to wake up, okay? Because you're clearly asleep at the wheel. Trump's not trying to do anything good. That's what he's not trying to do. Trump is trying to make his case because he's begging and desperate for a Nobel Peace Prize for number one, trying to distract and gaslight and deflect for two, so we're not focused on the Epstein debacle, and also because he's trying to rig the elections. Okay, that's what it is. All right, now sit there and foolishly that Trump gives a damn about black people if you want to. With that all being said, goes on to say that Kemp, the current chair of the Republican Governors Association, has for years been sending Georgia Guard members to the Mexican border in Texas to support border enforcement there. All right, so y'all heard it. At the end of the day, honey, Georgia all involved with Trump and his foolishness. But hold on, let's talk about the guns. America's largest gun lobby speaks out as Trump's administration mulls possible trans firearm ban. Department of Justice officials are reporting restrictions on trans people in the wake of Annunciation school shooting. So Trump's talking about trans people can't have guns? Yikes. Y'all heard that? Y'all heard that? Trump, is he trying to say that trans people can't have guns? And if so, why? Like, what kind of sense does that make? What's he implying here? Let's get into it. DOJ considers restricting gun ownership from trans Americans after deadly Minneapolis shooting. Do y'all hear this? Like, they can't be serious. Who do they think they can just do this? Just because somebody's trans, they can't have a gun? Ooh, honey, the lawsuits are going to be coming quick. Okay? I want y'all to pay attention because this sounds crazy as hell. Anywho, let's get into it. Hold on. Ooh, this is all crazy. Hold on.
News, the department is in early conversations on possibly restricting gun ownership for transgender Americans. This is following a young transgender woman who shot up a Catholic school in Minneapolis, killing 2 children, wounding 17 others just last week. And Chief.
Now, y'all hear that, right? So because a trans person killed people, now you want to ban guns from all trans people? Well, if that's the case, why don't you ban it from young white men between the ages of 18 to 35? Because aren't they the ones that are disproportionately most known to be mass shooters and school shooters? See how it makes no sense, honey? This is nothing but discrimination, honey. Trump is a whole darn fool, but let's continue.
Washington correspondent Mike Emanuel has more, first of all, to set this up. Mike, tell us about it.
Hi, Harris. Yeah, Justice Department spokesperson telling Fox, quote, the DOJ is actively evaluating options to prevent the pattern of violence we have seen from individuals with specific mental health challenges and substance abuse disorders. No specific criminal justice proposals have been advanced at this time. Of course, the right to bear arms is a cornerstone of the United States, but not everyone qualifies to own weapons, especially those deemed mentally unfit. So new debate is heating up. Should people diagnosed with gender dysphoria be banned from owning guns after several shootings involving transgender suspects? A sheriff from the Seattle area posed this question on X this week, quote, do you think it's time to ban trans people from owning guns? The discussions at the Justice Department's Office of Legal Counsel, we are told, are in their infancy. But one expert tells us this issue could face political challenges from the right and the left.
On the left, the civil liberties community would make a strenuous effort to block any effort to take gun rights away from the transgender community. on the right, gun rights groups have been working very considerably to try and expand gun rights, and I think they would have a big problem.
The National Rifle Association giving us exclusive reaction, quote, NRA does not and will not support any policy proposals that implement sweeping gun bans that arbitrarily strip law-abiding citizens of their Second Amendment rights without due process. Harris?
Mike, thank you very much.
Y'all heard that, right? This is all crazy. This is all crazy. So trans people can't have guns. Let's talk about it. The National Rifle Association, also known as the NRA, has sounded off on reports that the Trump administration is mulling a way of limiting transgender people's ability to purchase firearms. I've literally heard it all. The gun lobby group, the largest in the United States with 5 million members according to its website, released a statement Friday reinforcing its commitment that all law-abiding Americans have a right to bear arms. Now, it comes as Department of Justice officials have had several internal meetings about placing restrictions on trans people in the wake of Annunciation school shooter Robin Westman, who identifies as trans, killing 2 people and injuring 18 others last month. Now, Westman's firearms were purchased legally, according to the Associated Press. However, the NRA supports the Second Amendment rights of all law-abiding Americans to purchase and use firearms. NRA does not and will not support any policy proposals that eliminate or implement sweeping gun bans that arbitrarily strip law-abiding citizens of their Second Amendment rights without due process. Now, as well as the NRA, Gun Owners of America, known as GOA, issued a clear, uncompromising stance on the issue, saying GOA opposes any and all gun bans, full stop. That's what one of them wrote on X. In another post, the group quoted Senior Vice President Eric Pratt as saying, Gun Owners of America does not compromise with our support for the right of all people to keep and bear arms. The National Association for Gun Rights, NAGR, another major gun lobby group, has not formally weighed in on the issue, but its president, Dudley Brown, said he opposes the idea. He argued on X that labeling people mentally defective to strip them of gun rights would be a due process violation. Trump don't care about due process. The DOJ officials' conversations are in an early stage of no concrete steps that have been taken. Multiple sources gave this information. Now, one source pointed to a pattern of shootings carried out by transgender people, including Westman's attack. Now, if you all remember, about 2 years ago in the month of April, it was down there in Memphis, I want to say, where the trans girl went and shot up the school. If you all remember that. And or she identified as a trans man. And so she went and shot the school. It was a Christian school that she used to go to. And she talked about things that were done to them there. They were assaulted or whatever. And so she went and shot up that school. So that's another person they're talking about that was trans, who basically, they're saying shot up a school. So now that's making their argument for why no trans people should get guns. Like, this is all crazy. Another source said the DOJ's discussions about banning transgender people from buying or owning guns have involved the Office of Legal Counsel, which provides legal advice to the executive branch. Now, they talk about Covenant School shooter Aubrey Hale, 28 years old, okay, who was linked, Hale killed 3 9-year-olds and 3 adults at a private school linked to a church. Yeah, this is her right here. This is the one I'm talking about. Let me show her picture on the screen. This is the one I reported on. This video went viral on TikTok. That's her right there. So anyway, this is all crazy as far as I'm concerned. They can't make this make sense. So the source indicated that the DOJ officials are currently thinking through a feasible legal framework. Such discussions would likely rope in the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, also known as the ATF, which is part of the DOJ and has authority over federal rules related to firearms. Now, when asked about the talks, a DOJ spokesperson downplayed the discussion targeting transgender people, telling the media that the department has been examining numerous options to address the correlation between shootings and mental health, but it has not come up with anything specific. Now, the DOJ is actively evaluating options to prevent the pattern of violence we have seen from individuals with specific mental health challenges and substance abuse disorders, according to the spokesperson. No specific criminal justice proposals have been advanced at this time. One of the sources said DOJ officials are reviewing ways to ensure that mentally ill individuals suffering from genital dysphoria are unable to obtain firearms while they are unstable and unwell. People with mental health conditions are typically not banned from purchasing guns under current laws, which the Supreme Court reaffirmed as recently as 2024 in United States versus Rahimi. Now, but in some instances, such as a court deeming someone mentally incompetent, mind you, that information is supposed to crop up during a background check and block a customer from obtaining a gun license. LGBTQ advocates call the idea of a ban misguided and dangerous, arguing that the vast majority of mass shootings in the United States are carried out by men and do not involve transgender people. Yes, white men. Okay? You're going to take the guns away from them and ban them? No, you're not. So don't try to do it to anybody else. Transgender people are less than 2% of the overall population, yet 4 times as likely to be victims of a crime, GLAAD says. And that's GLAAD, G-L-A-A-D. It's an organization. Now, everyone deserves to be themselves, be safe, and be free from violence and discrimination. We all deserve leaders who prioritize keeping all of us safe and free. Okay, since President Donald Trump returned to office, his administration has removed transgender people from military service, scrubbed some federal websites of mentions of them, and is trying to bar changing the sex marker on passports. The administration has also been vehemently opposed to allowing biological males to compete in women's sports and curtailed access to the so-called gender-affirming care. Well, you know, they shouldn't be in women's sports. That's just facts. Not in my opinion, they shouldn't. Okay, I don't really give a darn what they do, but being in women's sports, they shouldn't be one of them. That's my point. Okay? Go and compete against people that were biologically born the way you were. That is fair to me. But all this other stuff Trump's doing, and this is all crazy. Okay, this is all absolutely crazy. And BS. Do y'all hear this? What do y'all make of it all? Trump's a whole idiot. Trump is a whole idiot, okay? Hold on. Okay, so with that all being said, I'm about to be out of here, but before I go, I want to show you all one more video. Now, mind you, if you all remember the video I told you all about the young black teen, 14 years old, and they were trying to put him inside of they said it was a meat grinder, but then later on they came back and said, no, it wasn't a meat grinder. It was some other type of farm equipment. Nonetheless, it was a whole hate crime. They're really not talking about it much. I'm following that story so I can find out what else is going on because something needs to be done. Okay, I have a feeling they're going to try to sweep this under the rug. So anyway, this is We Are Human with a TikTok that he did about that. Okay, likes up, everyone, please like and share. And he was going off.
Out of y'all. If this 14-year-old child, Keontae, was my son, Elijah, and 20, 30, 40 people didn't put their motherfucking hands on him at a barn party, I swear for life that motherfucking barn would not be standing. And y'all know that I spread love and positive energy. And y'all know damn well I try to turn people away from violence. But this is the thing. The police had plenty of motherfucking time where they could have already arrested somebody and held them accountable. And motherfuckers is getting sick and tired of motherfuckers just allowing shit like this to happen and then allowing people to live their lives and then waiting for people to uproot and cause a problem around the country before they decide to serve some justice. There's a many of goddamn things that I'm able to turn a cheek for, and there's a many other things that I'm able to walk away from, but this is not one of those things when you talking about your 14-year-old child, then got their motherfucking hands put on by some grown people and other people at a motherfucking party and was set up to go there. We all know as humans, we have our emotions and sometimes we cannot control them. And this would have been one of them times that I would not have been able to control them and people would have had to look at me however they wanted to motherfucking look at me. But I guarantee you what, my motherfucking child would have looked at me as a motherfucking hero because my child would have known I'm not going for somebody jumping on him and putting their motherfucking hands on him. Even if this wasn't a racist situation or a racial situation, best believe that my reaction would be the motherfucking same. Because shouldn't nobody be luring no 14-year-old child out to no motherfucking barn party just so they could do some harm to him? Black, blue, red, pink, yellow, it don't fucking matter to me. Whoever did this goddamn shit to this young man needs to be held accountable, and anybody that does this shit to anybody else, I don't give a fuck about the skin color, they need to be held accountable. It's crazy how this goddamn world can change, because I know damn well when I was growing up at a young age, and if somebody older put their motherfucking hands on us, we went and got that older person in our family, they went over there and put them on their head. Absolutely, we would love to see the police and the system to serve justice, but we all know how this comes out, and many a times it turns around that they don't end up finding nothing wrong, and they tend to try to blame this on the victim, all because they know that it's a racial situation that they want to try to hide racial shit in our country. The only goddamn time they seem to care about division and hatred going on in our country is when they want to try to get one of their hot asses in a seat. And if it's not one of their hot asses trying to get a seat, it's one of their hot ass friends trying to get a seat. And if it's not, then they not gonna speak on it as if they don't know how to speak, and they not gonna see shit as if they don't know how to see. We should be sick and goddamn tired of our country taking advantage of us, because that's exactly what's going on. These motherfuckers want to stop and care about the hatred and the bullshit going on when it's time for them to get into a seat, but when it's not time for them to get into a seat, they don't give a fuck. There's absolutely no reason. This shouldn't be all over our motherfucking country, and people shouldn't be making noise about this. This is a 14-year-old child that we're talking about. And why is so much shit going on to our children around this country? And then so much shit they're allowing to just get away with inside of our country. Even that young man, August Borden, that was beat at his motherfucking high school, they trying to let that motherfucker get away with beating that young man just because a motherfucker know how to play football. No, this is sickening. This is disgusting. This is not the way that we want our motherfucking country to go. Think about if this was your motherfucking child. How the fuck would you feel? Y'all know me. Y'all can call me Mr. Empathy, whatever you want to do. But I know how to put myself into other people's shoes and feel the pain and feel the emotions that they feel when they dealing with shit. And I wish that each and every last one of us knew how to do that. And the sooner that all of us start to feel the empathy and start to feel the emotions of each other, the sooner that we all gonna get up and push for a motherfucking change, and we gonna force a motherfucking change inside of this country. And we ain't gonna allow shit like this to just happen and be rolled over and continue to be swept underneath a rug as if it don't exist. Again, y'all already know, I'm not a fan of people going out there and putting their hands on people and such like this, but I can't lie to everybody. If this was my 14-year-old child, if this was my son Elijah and he had hit 14 and somebody did this to him, absolutely. The police won't hold somebody accountable. I would.
Okay, so he was clearly upset. Okay, very upset, and rightfully so. And here's the thing: they always try to hide when it's a hate crime against somebody who looks like me. They always try to act like it was something else. Now they tried to say that, oh, they thought the guy was somebody else, or mistaken identity. Doesn't matter. They still were calling him racial slurs, specifically the N-word, and they still tried to force him and attacked him and tried to force him into some farm equipment. So I'm sorry, it's still a whole hate crime, okay, whether they knew who he was or not. So now they're trying to twist and paint narratives. Okay. With that all being said, hold on. I'm changing my title to put in this stuff about Trump. Hold on. Almost done, beloveds. Hold on one second. We're about to be out of here because I have some things to do. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Easy says, people must sacrifice for change to happen. Are you willing to pay the ultimate price, sir? Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. Well, in some cases, talk is cheap. These days, talk isn't always cheap because they censor us. So sometimes when you say things, especially something that sounds revolutionary or sounds pro-Black or sounds like you're ready to rise up against social injustice or whatever, that could cause you a myriad of problems. Okay, that could cause you a myriad of problems. One thing about it is at least he's saying something, because some people ain't saying nothing. Some people are never going to speak up and speak out for their own people. So we already know they're not going to do anything. Okay, that's what they're not going to do. If we don't even hear them saying something or voicing a grievance about the situation, we can best believe they're not going to do anything. Now, what we could surmise is that the people that are bold enough to speak out against it, maybe they likely are the ones that will actually try to do something, beloved. Let me just tell you about this young man. First of all, we are human. He actually has a nonprofit. He does a lot of work in his community. They travel from state to state, going to, to help people in their community. I think they have been to probably 11 to 13 states, if I'm not mistaken, because I keep up with them. So yes, the answer to your question, talk is cheap. Is he going to do anything? Is he willing to pay the ultimate price? I would have to say yes, because he's already putting in the work. Okay? He's already putting in the work. Now, question is, are the collective of us willing to make the sacrifices? And we all know the answer to that. It's hell no. Okay? Most Black people aren't going to do anything. They're just going to sit there and complain and whine and cry and grovel and just keep letting it happen. That's it. And that's all. That's it. And that's all. He just said, not mad at the queen, just making statement at all. I know, beloved, I know. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, Swift said blowing smoke. Yeah, some of us will be able to blow smoke, and that's about all some of us is going to do, okay? Some of us will blow absolute smoke. Get on here and talk about bullshit that's not important, that's not going to help any of us get anywhere, that's just juicy gospel, whatever, and that's it. So that's all some of us are ever going to do, unfortunately. Okay, so with that all being said, Juju said, I'm boots on the ground, honey. I know that's right, Juju. So anyway, listen, I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Don't forget to enjoy your strong end, not the weekend. And if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that there is a full moon tomorrow. Let me just double check real quick so y'all can do your full moon rituals, honey, and start your manifestation process. Some of y'all just never gonna get it. Some of y'all are just never gonna get y'all's manifestation off the ground. Okay? Y'all just not gonna do it. I can't help you. I've already told y'all what you should do. Yes, there's a full moon on Sunday, September the 7th on 2025, known as the corn moon. All right? Okay? It's also a total lunar eclipse, so you don't want to miss it. Sometimes it's called the blood moon, and for those of you that follow the spiritual channel, I know I haven't been on there for a while, but we've talked about all these different types of full moons or whatever. Okay? So with that all being said, Claudette said, I'm manifesting daily. I know that's right. Look at Juju B said, we're coming back for our nightly vitamins. You know what? I might come back tonight. I don't know, honey. I don't know. My husband might want to do something. But if not, he might be tired. And if not, then I'll come back. Okay? Not at 6. It'll be later. Maybe around 10 or something like that, honey. All right, so anyway, Derek said, thanks, Queen, and everyone have a great afternoon and evening. Thank you, beloved. Okay, so listen, I love you all to life. Okay, I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Enjoy your strong end, not the weekend, leaving you in a weakened state of mind. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my touch one of mine and you done.